Okay, everybody, welcome to the international. This is our second match of today. I'm Chaos alongside Jack. We are bringing you another Tier 2 Round 1 matchup today. We have on the left, we have Morrigan versus Royalty Pawns. This is the second round of the Tier 2 playoffs, where the winner of this match will move on to face Gangrene Gang in the quarterfinals. And the match before that will actually be Odin's Chosen versus Crimson Dragons. And the loser of this match will move to the loser bracket in that'll be the week after these first rounds are finished.
Yeah, I
First map,
I think that's versus Hydra in that loser bracket, I believe.
I believe so, yes. And as far as the maps go, it's the same as it's been for the past couple of games we've casted the last few days.
Yep.
It'll be we'll be starting off on Ilios. Then for map 2, we will be moving to Junkertown, and then for map 3, we will go to Volskaya. Map 4 and 5, if it comes to that, will be Blizzard World. And fifth map, I believe, Tower.
Yes, that's correct.
Yep. We had one game so far make it all the way to 5 rounds, and it was a close call. It was a clean sweep. The first team won the first 2 maps, and then Crimson did a full clean sweep against Hydra, giving them the win of their map. So I'm curious to see how Morrigan and Royalty play out. I have witnessed Morrigan play in the past.
Okay.
I've casted with Queen, and I've seen them in action. I know from watching them before, Crossfire is a very efficient DPS on their side. So I know he's going to be putting on a good show for us because I've seen him in action before. Royalty Pawns, I have not personally seen in action before, so I'm anxious to see what team compositions they run with tonight. How about you, Jack? Have you witnessed either side in action so far?
No, no, not really, because I've seen Crossfire and Super MG before, but that was more them as tank fires. I have not seen them as DPS before, so I'm interested to see what their DPS pool is like, because I know them both as aggressive main tanks. So I'd assume they play that sort of style on DPS.
So we're just waiting on last minute confirmations for...
Oh yeah, because we've got the confirmations, and so we will now be going into map 1 Ilios.
Alright, and here we go. As far as character choices for the support class, I'm expecting to see the notorious Lucio and possibly even a Moira or Mercy for this map, just for the obvious boops that this map has to offer. You know, of course, the Orisa and Roadhog environmental kills I'm hoping to see on this map.
Oh yes, of course, because I would like to mention as well, because with the 2 teams today, because we do have one team that is EU and one team that is NA. And so the ping for each map is going to rotate, because we start off on the EU server, which will favour the side of Royalty Pawns. And so I see if they take advantage of that, because which it looks like they may do, we could start off on a pharmacy.
Yes, we do see Royalty going with the pharmacy combination along with a Ana for their secondary heals. No Lucio on either side. I am surprised. Usually Lucio is a most common pick on this map.
So, yes, agreed.
But we do see the Orisa and Roadhog pick from Morrigan, which is
it's a classic pick for WoW.
Yeah, just a very classic pick just because of those environmental kills that are very possible here. So right now we have Royalty getting first ones on the point. We have a 12-year turret with Orisa trying to protected.
Big
Taken
kill
out
off
by-
Waffles on Handle. Still off the fight.
The objective is now
Each team on opposite sides of the map, so it's going to be a matter of who can push each other off to gain first capture at this point. It looks like Morrigan may get the first capture.
Oh yeah, it's another kill by Waffles on that bar as well.
Waffles going up high looking for those long-range kills. Morrigan is taking a lot of damage though. Does get taken down by Torbjorn.
Oh yeah, because I actually
does get
really
the
like
first,
their comp because of the towers and power. It's a lot of frontline pressure.
That turret though from World T is going to pose a huge problem for Morrigan. It's well protected by that Orisa shield, plus having the pharmacy combination. It's going to be a lot of trouble keeping them out of the sky, and that Torbjorn turret doing just infinite amount of damage. We have window coming in from that piece on Morrigan's side.
Oh yeah, because that's good counter play opportunity on the Torbjorn, because shooting the lava through the window to make it harder to take advantage of the window.
So now we have Morrigan going on the offense. Roadhog is looking for that environmental kill. He wants to keep that hooking it that well. Morrigan does pick up 2 kills on Torbjorn and Farah, so now they do have the numbers to take possession. He's got to knock Orisa and those healers off the point on the right side.
Oh yeah, that's one of the positives about Orisa going control. She's really hard to kill, and so you can waste a lot of time. Oh, they're actually... Oh no.
Just a Torbjorn left on the point now, so now Morrigan does take possession of the point. They are now on the board. Royalty ending their first cap with 68% on the clock.
Oh yes, because there's
So a
ults
lot-
coming on for both sides. Well, the next fight.
Farah is going around on the far right side looking for a quick kill, possibly even a boop into the well.
Oh yeah, because I think she's looking for that barrage also.
Leave a bomb right on center. Point does get Piggy. He just barely missed that hit.
It's a barrage in the back line, but it's shut down by the visor.
Nice tack visor from Super MG. And nice kill from Crossfire. Doesn't get taken out by Orisa, but Super MG with soldiers just cleaning up, keeping them in possession at this point. Baptiste from Morrigan putting in a lot of damage, keeping them in this fight.
Oh yes, definitely, because Baptiste is basically a DPS at times, with the amount of damage you can output. So I'm not surprised he's picking up some kills.
Yeah, he's one of those kind of flex DPS healer mains like Zenyatta. Zenyatta's got a lot of offensive capabilities, and same with Baptiste. They're both kind of designed a similar way. Their heals are excellent, but they're also very capable of doing a lot of defensive damage as well.
Here comes the dragon.
Dragon from Morrigan does not get anybody though with that.
It separates the team. Because now there's a Hanzo from
Molten
one
Core
team.
coming in from Torbjorn from Royal T.
Yeah.
Doesn't get anybody with it though.
Yeah, it's
Here
very
he
good
comes from the
pincer attack
window.
actually, with both DPS on the sides and the window up front.
Tack visor coming in from Morrigan. They're trying to intercept and take him down, but he's getting healed. Now it's do or die for Royal T right now. They gotta stay on this point, but Morrigan just has the upper hand right now. It looks like they are going to take the first round, but then Royal T is still trying to fight through this. There we go. We do see Morrigan get the first win on map 1 of Ilios. Crossfire and Super MG, as you said, just unloading with that damage on Royal T.
Oh yes, definitely, because I think Sophie personally is in a very good spot right now to get a damage boost, because his damage can be very deceptive, and I don't think a lot of people realise that at the moment.
It's good to be working with you
Soldier
again,
has a
Ziegler.
very high damage output, especially it's a very good counter to keep Farah and Mercy out of the sky. When he's boosted by Mercy, it's devastating for them. We do see Royalty switching it up to somewhat of a dive comp with Diva and Winston.
Has a symmetry.
And Morrigan switches it up to Reinhardt and Diva as their
He was
main
actually
tanks.
saying on the symmetry waffle because I thought he might just thought he might TP his team and go trace or something. So he wants to stick with it.
We have Goose up top from Royalty looking to get us some sniper kills from Ash.
Oh yeah,
Trying to
this
go
is a
toe to
really
toe
good
with that
action.
soldier to knock him out.
It's the battle of the
Morrigan still with the
DPS.
upper hand, having all their teammates on point. They are in possession of that soldier, and they do get him.
Yeah, it's a good
res.
kill.
At that Mercy res, though, quickly bringing him back into the fight, and does take out Winston from that.
Oh yes, that's the first Captain Morrigan as well. Fantastic work of them so far because of their because of their target priority.
Give a little props to the Mercy and Baptiste on Morrigan's side. Mercy has done a good job of keeping her team healed and boosted, while keeping bringing that soldier in to do just the amount of damage he has, giving Morrigan the advantage in these fights.
Alright, because I definitely agree the support really are very decent. Because the support work is very unnoticed.
Yeah, a lot of times supports are not as noticed as the rest of the tanks and damage, but
It's
always
fantastic
good to
wedge
see.
off the Mercy on there because to get the Anna back in the fight and get their hero up also.
nice Royalty making on the point, but Crossfire coming in and
Yeah,
doing what he
huge
does best, getting that double kill on both supports.
Oh yes, because it's not really working for World Team points at the moment because they need to switch something up.
Yeah, right now just that damage from Crossfire and Super MG is just unloading on them.
Oh yes, because they do have the nano coming on the line. Because if they get a good nano off on their line height, it could make a difference.
Yeah, they do have Bob coming in from Goose on the point. Bob is on point, but he's blocked by
It's really
Reinhardt.
nice. It's really nice to have Goose to shut down the visor, and there's the nano line height. These are on pinnacle stuff. Kills the Anna.
Diva Bomb does take out Ana from Royalty.
It's a big res of Shelly being yet again though.
Luke in hot pursuit of Crossfire and does eliminate him, so Royalty still keeping the point right now, but they're going to have to watch out very closely because if Morrigan takes back this point, it's pretty much going to be the end of the first match.
Let's get you back out there.
Oh yes, because Morrigan have changed both their DPS because now they have a Widow and a Doomfist. Because they were both great choices on this map.
Yeah, that Widow's going to have to be a primary target for that Junkrat or Ash. Just because I know Crossfire's efficiency as
Oh, that's a
DPS
huge shot to wow.
Diva Bomb does get shielded by Morrigan's Reinhardt. So far, Royalty doing a good job of
Oh yeah,
stabilizing.
this should be that.
and
Like,
going.
it's a nice kill of Super on the Doomfist on the enemy line, but he will probably die. There we go.
Very nice to see that Royalty's momentum has shifted back into their favor.
Oh yes,
And now
definitely.
forcing Morrigan back on the defensive.
Oh yes, because I really like the Junkrat swap by Waffles, because I think Junkrat in control map is a very good fit.
Yeah, that Junkrat's been keeping the tanks at bay. Also, because of 2 bombs from that Junkrat will take out most all their DPS and their support if it hits.
It's a big kill of Super on the Anna though, because that takes away what they're healing. Never mind, it's a big res of Shelly doing yes again. That's the third time it's round the one.
Nice pin on that Diva. Nice kill on Crossfire from Waffles.
Yeah, here comes the whip player.
Now it's do or die right now for Morrigan.
It's both DPS down coming in, and they're shattered because this should give the point
Nice.
to Walty.
Nice triple kill from Reinhardt that should give Royalty the win of this round. On this match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crossfire
Oh,
coming in
maybe
trying to
not.
stall.
It's no, it was not enough. And so now we will go to White House in the final round.
Crossfire trying to come in and keep timer going to give the rest of Morrigan a chance to come back, but it just wasn't enough. He was down to 1 HP before he got taken out.
Oh yes, because that was a great comeback because of Walty Pawns there. Because I think... Because... Oh, sorry. Because give me a second. Because I do think that they will keep the Junkrat for this point.
So far we see, here we have Lucio's coming into play on both sides, and a Zarya for a sudden twist, which we haven't seen Zarya in play that much in the playoffs so far. She's been an uncommon choice. Now we have Lucio and Mercy on the side of Royal T for supports, on Baptiste and Lucio for Morrigan. Now it's just an all-out brawl for the point right now. Symmetra's turrets and they're trying to do damage, but it's not enough.
Oh yeah, because it's going the side of Wall T. Oh, maybe not. They are turning it on Morrigan. That Junkrat though is getting immense
Nice
value.
resurrection on that Reinhardt
Yeah.
from Shelly Bean. And it looked like Morrigan had possession, but then just Royalty just turned it around in an instant.
Oh yes, definitely, because thanks to the Junkrat way of waffles and the big res of Shelly Bean to get that Reinhardt back in the fight.
That Mercy Res is a very powerful ability that a lot of teams sometimes underestimate as to how much that res really benefits. That's an extra life. Where you would be down 5 to 6, that instantly brings you back up to 6v6. That's a total game changer in itself right there.
Oh yes, definitely.
Now we see Morrigan going up top, taking out Torbjorn's turret.
Oh yes, because they're doing the TP up top, but they may get tired for their... Oh, never mind. They actually dodged the tire with that teleport.
Higher was coming in from Royalty, but did not get anybody because it was blocked by Symmetra's shield. Now with her shield down, now it's just Royalty trying to hold off Morrigan from getting on point.
That Junkrat again though.
It's just the 2 tanks from Morrigan left. They're going to get ambushed, and they do.
Oh yeah.
Royalty still holding on to this point though. The momentum is still firmly in Royalty's grip.
Oh yes,
Morrigan
because
just hasn't been
Mulligan...
able to take it.
Oh yes, because Mulligan should perhaps give it to Zarya, because they're heading into last fight territory and still not near grab.
They do not have a grab yet from Morrigan. She's at 75%. She should have one pretty soon, but she's going to need that very soon.
It's helping a water window to gain that ult charge, and now we have the May up from Crossfire. We should get a
That
water
should be enough to knock at least both of those tanks out.
Oh, huge shatter!
Nice.
He cancels the shatter. He's not
Coming in. Royalty does get blocked by the May wall.
Junkrat is still here, right?
Jelly Bean does fall off the map.
Oh, he's committing the tire.
Royalty.
Kills the Reinhardt.
Waffles
It's a big
does
pick.
take out the Reinhardt, but that's possibly going to be a... No, not a res, because they'll have Mercy on their side.
Ah yes, this is a big opportunity for Walty to come back with numbers.
If they can retake possession of this point, this should be enough to guarantee them victory on the first map.
Yeah. It does have the symmetry turrets to help the side of Mulligan.
They do have the turret from Royalty in the back of Reinhardt.
It's a fantastic grab. The immortality is keeping them up.
Nice pin on Shelly's beam from Reinhardt.
Back and forth this fight. I'm not sure who will win this. Because it looks like Walty are going ahead.
If Royalty does have enough to take possession, this should be it and give them the first round. Nope, not enough. Tracer from Crossfire on point stall on it, but that turret is just chipping away at her. That torque turret is a huge problem right now for Morrigan. They gotta get rid of that turret ASAP if they can.
Another res of Shelly Bean. Oh, Shelly Bean, sorry. Yep, and another
And
tire.
unfortunately, Morrigan could not come out of this on top, and Royalty takes the first map on Ilios.
Oh yeah, because I have to give it to Walter Barnes there, because I really thought that Morrigan was going to take the second round, but fantastic comeback.
Yeah, it really looked like Morrigan had the upper hand to start off, and then towards the end, Royalty just switched it up, gave themselves the necessary character choices they needed to take possession, and they held on to it.
Job well done.
Definitely, though, from both sides, Crossfire and Super MG doing what they do best on damage,
yes.
so they clearly are the MVPs of that round.
Oh yes, because
And for World,
oh yes,
Go ahead.
I'd give me a second. Because for the side of Morrigan, I would agree, but on the side of Walter Farns, because I'd have to give it to Waffles with his Junkrat flare, it really turned the momentum.
I would give it to Waffles and actually Shelly Bean, who was the Mercy on their side,
Agreed.
just because of the precise reses that she gave in to keep their people in the fight, to keep them going throughout all that. That's usually hard to do when a Mercy is in a wide open space like that. She's usually taken out instantly, but
Oh,
they
yes,
protected her very
definitely.
well, and she got off the crucial reses they needed to keep things going.
Alright then, because we are now going to Junkertown, which is a very different style of map. Alright, because I just need to see if both teams want to make any changes. Okay.
Can you swap Chimps to Red?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's getting swapped in anyway, so. Okay, swap to spectators. Spectator red. Right, okay. So that's the changes for Wall T, because let's wait to see if Morrigan have got any of that one. Alright, because I'm very interested to see what happens on Junkertown, because the last couple of times I've watched it this weekend, because the more aggressive Weinhardt team, because has won, because instead of like being more double sniper with double shield, which I would expect. So I'm interested to see if that breaks the trend or continues it.
Yeah, so far every time I've casted a Junkertown map, it's been a very aggressive Rhiny and either double snipers or at least one. And it's kind of like a mix. It's kind of like a hybrid combination between dive and bunker, from what I've seen on offense and defense. Sometimes I've seen duo snipers on offense, or sometimes I've seen one sniper and one hit scan
Oh yeah.
on offense and defense, but I've seen consistently it's been Reinhardt and primarily Diva as their off tank. I have not seen many instances with Roadhog, Sigma, or Orisa. The previous nights we have seen Orisa double shielding either with Reinhardt or Sigma, but not as often as we've seen Reinhardt in action, just because of how aggressive he can be in maps like this.
Oh yes, because I definitely agree. Because the Reinhardt flare, because so far in the playoffs, because it's been fantastic, to be honest. Because so many great Reinhardt players, because I've just been shown what they can do.
Yes. Reinhardt has always been one of the most powerful and ideal tanks to have on your team when you're entering any map, not just certain maps in particular, but he's just overall a good pick in 99.9 scenarios on most of the maps. There's a few instances where maybe he's vulnerable, but most of the time he's your go-to tank you want watching your back.
Oh yes, because I completely agree. because we'll probably see some Lucios because if they do play the line hard because of the long sight lines in Junkertown, because you do need a Lucio to help close in the distance. Uh, okay, because I'm just still waiting for the ready of Morrigan and any changes. Okay, because MG is going out.
So we are still keeping Crossfire in and we're swapping Super MG out for Band, so we're switching one of their two primary DPSs who were the MVPs, in our opinion, for the first map. But they still have Crossfire in this, so he's going to be another one that's going to be he's going to have a bullseye on his back as being a primary target that Royalty's going to have to keep an eye out for, because on this map, that's going to be... It's kind of like a Reaper hunting ground, at least for the first checkpoint of the map. He can hide in those buildings, get behind them and flank them. Even Sombra or Tracer, because we did see him playing Tracer on Ilios for a little bit. So, I'm thinking... if he does go Tracer, he'll try to sweep around those buildings, or if he goes Reaper, he'll try to do that as well. Royalty's counter to that, if he goes Tracer, would, in my opinion, would be best to use a Sombra, or possibly even Junkie, because Junkie was doing a good job of just hitting her with one of those bombs and just taking her out of commission instantly.
Oh yes, because Junkertown can be a very good map for Sombra. Because I can't remember if I casted with you or someone else, because when we saw it as Sombra, because dominate Junkertown.
Yeah, I believe that was us on Friday night, where we saw a lot of EMPs combined with Reinhardt's Earthshatter and Diva Bomb. There was one triple kill in the beginning, right at the end of the first point.
Oh yes, I remember that. It was a fantastic combo.
Yeah, we saw a Sombra EMP. Reinhardt got a nice Earthshatter, took out about 4 or 5 people and knocked them down, and a Diva Bomb came in and just annihilated all those that were knocked down from that Earthshatter. So, if Morrigan poses a huge threat when they're on the attack, that may be a good idea for Royalty to bring into this, is bring in the Reinhardt, Diva, and Sombra EMP strategy.
Oh yes, agreed. Because I do apologise for the delay, but we do have some admin issues at the moment, because they're currently trying to get fixed.
Yeah, we're just making sure both sides are ready to go, but for this map, we do not switch sides on the first map, so Royalty will be on the attack first, and Morrigan will be on the defense. When we switch over to Volskaya in map 3, we will switch sides, and Morrigan will be on the attack, and Royalty will be on the defense.
Yep.
But for those who haven't seen the game so far, Royalty did pick up the victory on Ilios, so right now it is 1-0. So we're hoping to see if Morrigan can turn the tides and bring it up to 1v1, since Ilios, it was very close back and forth from both sides. The momentum was a bit in one team's favor for most of the fight, and then out of nowhere, they caught them looking the other way, and then the momentum shifted to the other team. So we've seen a lot of that happen, not just in the games today, but in all the games over the course of the weekend, where it only takes half a second and the momentum switches from one team to the other, giving them just the opportunity to open that door and just capitalize on ults and just overall picks that give them the win or the leeway to either push the payload or capture an objective to give them the win.
Okay, because I will be back in 2 seconds, because while we wait for the issues to be solved.
But in the meantime, while we finish up the rest of these maps this week, for next week in the quarterfinals, these will be the maps that we see in those maps coming up, which will be Nepal, Gibraltar, Hollywood, and then for maps 4 and 5, if needed, will be Numbani and Busan. Now, based on those 5 maps for week 2 of the playoffs, I can honestly say a lot of those maps I am not very good on. I'm not sure about you, Jack, because those maps to me sometimes can prove very difficult.
Sorry about that, I am now back. Because both teams are now ready, I believe, also.
Okay.
Right, because just let me do a last check, just for confirmation. Okay. Yep.
On any of those 5 maps that I mentioned for the quarterfinals, have any of those maps been difficult for you? Anytime you played them in quick play or competitive?
I'm okay, because what are the 5 maps again? Because I cannot remember the top of my head and I was not here when you went through them.
The quarterfinals will be Nepal, Watts Point, Gibraltar, Hollywood, and then for maps 4 and 5, they will be Numbani and Busan if needed.
Right, because definitely Numbani. Because Numbani because Numbani is just a team that, honestly not a team, because it's just a map that we don't have a lot of practice on my team personally, so it's a bit of a weak spot for us.
Yeah, I would have to agree on my side too, just because Numbani's not really a map that shows up a lot in competitive, not for us anyway.
I know it's not, because it actually got banned for like a couple of months from comp, I remember. Because like a lot of people do not like it.
I wasn't aware that Numbani was ever taken out of competitive.
It was just a bug. They didn't mean to take it out, I believe. Oops. Alright, because sorry about the delay, because I'm just getting confirmation, just to be sure. Oh yeah, because sorry about this, because there's just a lot of admin stuff that needs to be done, so because there's not much that can be done about it but wait, so yeah, because quarterfinals will be interesting, because my team will be facing Devils, because who won last night, because who are a really good team. So I have a lot to think about for that game next week.
Best of luck to you guys in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Oh yes, because we will need it. Because I'm talking about the tier 3. I'm talking about the tier 3 playoff games right now. Because the earlier game today was the Narwhals versus the Baltic Queens, which ended in a 3-0 to the Narwhals. It was a very exciting game.
So for the quarterfinals for Tier 3, we have Adaptation
Yep.
versus the Devil Disciples to start off the week 2. And then the second game after that will be Royalty Kings versus Narwhals.
Oh yes, because some very interesting storylines about both those games. Because that's two teams that are unbeaten in those. Because they're also because ourselves were unbeaten in the season. I cannot speak at the moment. Sorry about this, watchers.
It's okay, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, like it's just been a lot of casting this weekend, and I think it's getting to me a bit. Because
I
it's all
personally
good.
have
Alright, carry on, sorry.
I personally have played up against all 3 of those teams that are in the quarterfinals, except for Adaptation. When me and my team were in the regular season, we played up against all 3: Devil's Disciples, Royalty Kings, and Narwhals. So I know just from experience of playing against them, I know what they're like to play against. I have not seen Adaptation in combat before. So seeing how I...
yes, because I can't talk about Adaptation because I would be biased, but based on my experience, because I've faced Devil and Cleans, and both are fantastic sides.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that Adaptation, I believe, went undefeated in the regular season, so them coming into the quarterfinals with that record, I believe, really makes them a deadly opponent to go up against.
Oh yeah, because we are now ready to start, so I will do so, but to finish that conversation, because on the other side of the bracket, because Kings are also unbeaten in the season, because which is interesting, because you don't normally see like 2 teams because from each bracket because go unbeaten.
Yeah, Royalty went undefeated in the second bracket for Tier 3, and Adaptation went undefeated in the first bracket because we had so many teams signed up for the third tier that we had to break it up into 2 sections.
Oh yeah, see, I had a lot of teams in Tier 3. All great teams though. Alright, but enough about that, because we can now focus back on this fantastic playoff game in Tier 2.
No matter what tier it's been in, from Tier 1 all the way to 5, every game so far has been a pleasure to cast, watch.
Oh yes, of course.
And
because
be
the
a part
level of
of.
flair, because on Friday, it was just amazing.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we see on Royalty side, they are going with the double snipers to start off on the offense.
Oh yes,
and with the Reinhardt and Diva combo as well.
Oh yes, because we have a jungler because on the side of Morrigan this time, inside, with Crossfire picking it up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And then we have the double shield combo on Morrigan's side.
Yeah, it was a really nice trap actually by Crossfire on the Reinhardt. Oh, that's a good headshot by Chimps on Bam. Yeah, because both teams are just floating into pits, but the cart is still moving the entire time.
Morrigan is being steadily pushed back here with Royalty just keeping that payload moving. They're going to have to find a way to stop that payload from not moving. They can't just let it gain ground. Someone's got to get up there and take out Waffles for just doing damage.
Oh, it's another headshot by Chimsa. Fantastic shatter, but he does die for it from the whistle.
Window coming in from Baptiste looking to get
Oh,
those kills. Nice double kill from Crossfire. Again, he has been...
Yeah, he's been
regular
standout.
season and the playoffs, Crossfire has just been one of the...
He takes out the Widow in the 1v1 also. Big players.
Yeah, Crossfire has just been outstanding from regular season all the way to the playoffs. He never disappoints. He always delivers when his teammates need him to do so the most. And now he's looking on the left side, looking for that quick kill.
Yeah, he's getting pushed by the
Saw
entire
it
team.
coming.
There's good shouting by
Morrigan is a little broken up there. They're regroup, get ready for this push from these tanks.
Because he has been took down by Crossfire. No, sorry, not Crossfire, but by Chimps on the Widow. Because that is now 3 headshots by Chimps.
Nice pick from Comp on Diva Bomb and Dragon coming in. Does not get anybody, but the Dragons does take out 2.
Yeah.
3 actually.
4. Fantastic hands-off play from Waffles. Oh, 5.
Yeah, he's...
Yeah, here comes the whip tie from Crossfire though. He comes to back teams, but they should still get the cap.
Welcome to Dungeon 10.
So far, that was Waffles' best play that he's had so far on either map.
Oh yes, because that says a lot considering how well he played the first map as Junkrat.
Yeah, that's definitely like, you can see the rivalry between Crossfire and Waffles. They're two...
Oh yeah, he's definitely taken that rivalry to him because he changed to the Doomfist. So I assume that he will try and die with Chimps in the Widow and Waffles.
Waffles does get taken out by Bam, forcing the res from Shelly Bean. Again, those mercy reses from her have been on point, and just her overall healing as well.
Oh yes, it's like instant reses also.
Yeah, a lot of the times that can be dangerous though, especially if the enemy team has taken out your opponent right in close proximity and they're right nearby their sword. That could put her in a pretty tough situation and sometimes get her killed. But so far she's done a good job of anticipating where the enemy team is and kept herself safe from getting taken out. These dual sniper combinations from Royalty have been working out for them. It's kept them in the fight, and we go Crossfire looking to take out that Widow. He does get her, but is not enough to stop Royalty's momentum. They do get the second cap with 3 minutes and 43 seconds left.
Oh yes, because we did miss a big flare because by the Reinhardt of Walting Pawns there because he shattered 4 people and managed to get 2 kills. Fantastic Reinhardt player yet again.
Yeah, both Reinhardts on both sides. Reinhardt from Royalty. We haven't seen Reinhardt on Morrigan yet. We have changed it to Orisa and Diva.
Yes, because the Orisa comps do have issues if you put aggro into them. Hit
bomb coming in hot.
The bomb.
Does not get anybody. Blocked by mortality.
Another big leg of shoulding.
This res from Sid Balls bringing Baptiste back in this.
Deadeye in the back.
I knew coming in does get Shelly Bean out of the play. That's going to be crucial for Morrigan to stop this payload.
Oh yes, because this is a really good place to hold also.
Casting a spell.
If I were Royalty right now, I'd be trying to anticipate that Doomfist, possibly going with a Sombra to keep him out of play and neutralizing him, because if Crossfire goes unnoticed as Doomfist, Royalty's in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, because he's setting up to kill the action to play him on.
Some Bob coming in from Royalty.
Yeah, the shot.
Nice Earth Shatter with Bob just unloading on the rest of them.
Oh yes, because that is another issue with the Orisa, because you can just walk through the Orisa shield.
Royalty is back in the driver's seat now.
Oh yes, it's
Another
not
quick
like
res
by
on
Shelly.
Both Baptiste ults from both sides coming in, and here comes Crossfire, gets the double kill.
Oh yeah, because Weary Knight's doing a particular action and follows it up with a big punch. Big
Nice
bomb up
pin
this.
from Reinhardt, even about this get Crossfire and Sid.
Because now Jaggers is
He's still
make
holding
the-
on with all they got to keep this payload moving. Here comes Demon coming in hot. I think he went a little too high.
Yeah, I think it landed on the platform.
Right now it's just a matter of Morrigan just stalling the timer right now. Doofus all coming in.
Yeah, he does not get the kill, so he just calls down.
Jelly Bean looking for that res. She gets another one. On
Yeah,
Reinhardt.
yeah, these reses are actually crazy.
Jelly Bean has just been unkillable in these regions. She's just been unnoticed for the vast majority of it. They just haven't been able to neutralize her. And any second, if Morrigan doesn't stay on the point, Royalty's gonna cap this. They only have 10 seconds left.
Oh, it's a big shatter. Because that should get to the top.
But Morrigan definitely just kept stalling the timer. They had 3 minutes and 43 seconds when they first got that second checkpoint. They drove them all the way down to 5.3 seconds.
Initiating match.
Oh yes, but that was a really good solve because on the side of Morrigan. Fantastic for us. Alright, because you mentioned Shelly, because I actually can't remember them dying many times over both maps. Because which is the sign of a very good Mercy player.
Yeah, it's sometimes when a Mercy can go unnoticed like that, it's just that alone can turn a team fight instantly, because having her infinite heals is just a huge benefit. If she's taken out early in a team fight, that's almost a guaranteed loss in terms of a team fight, just because any major healer like that, when you don't have them, it just puts you at a severe disadvantage. So the fact that she's been staying alive so well and bringing those reses into play, keeping the rest of everybody in this, has just been crucial. But we see her switching it up to Moira this time instead of Mercy. So
Oh yes, it's an interesting change.
5,
Because it looks like they're going to blow into them perhaps.
1. Attackers incoming.
So we'll see how Morrigan fares on the attack. They went with the Shimada brothers as
Yes,
their DPS this time.
Oh yes, that's a very interesting pick. It's a very dive approach because they clearly stick with the DPS of Volta. But there's Waffles
does
again.
get the early pick on Hanzo. And we have not seen Crossfire play Genji yet as a DPS, so I'm expecting to see at least one Genji blade with at least 3 to 4 kills in it.
Oh yeah, because he does have the Ana to nano him for that blade also. Waffles again, killing the Hanzo.
Often getting that pick on Hanzo, just keeping him out, and gets
kills
the
both
pick
of
on
us.
Crossfire as well.
Time to raise my APM.
Nice job of Royalty neutralizing those healers and tanks, just forcing them to fall back.
Oh yes, it's fantastic team play because of Volta. Because this is a really professional performance, because they're not overextending for these kills.
Now they're not, they're staying in close proximity. They know
He's
early
in
pick
trouble
is
Waffles
always-
now, but his team helps him. Fantastic kill off the Reinhardt.
Oh, lessons coming in from Moira.
Yeah. Oh, it's some kills for Lucio. Picks up a double kill.
So getting those double kills.
Yeah,
Zarya
okay.
having a little bit of struggle here, building up that ult charge, because I know she's hoping to have that ult built up ready to give Ban that duo ult for Zarya and
yes, that's a lot of swaps on the side of Morrigan though, because they gave up the Genji for Val and gave up the Amazon White one.
res from Sid on Pharah. But I'm not sure. Oh, Crossfire.
Big kill by
And Chins and Waffles.
Nerf this.
It's a nice shackle in the back.
All systems check out.
Nice in from behind.
Oh yes, this Reinhardt player, well, is really standing out, especially in the fight.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to micromanage that shield that he has efficiently. Sometimes people just hold it until it just straight up breaks. I know I've done that.
Oh yes, it's a very common
1,000
thing for
times.
Reinhardt, but he knows how to balance it well in his battle with it.
Yeah, having an efficient backup off tank and healers that will support you when that shield breaks is crucial to keeping him at his full capacity. When
60 seconds.
Reinhardt is a force to be reckoned with, but if he's by himself and he only has that hammer and his shield and no backup, he's just a big target.
Oh yes, I
He's-
agree.
he's
Because
at
we do
his
have
most-
Grav online for Morrigan. Because for what could be this last team fight.
Yeah, this is going to be Morrigan's last chance to push this payload. If not, Royalty is going to take this map.
Here comes the fire
Back going
also.
in.
Chimps killed fire. Oh, both DPS are down. Because this is not looking good for Morrigan. Because it's Waffles again on the Doom flag, just picking up so many kills.
Down to 13 seconds left, and they're going to be out of spawn
Yeah,
for two of their tanks.
it's up to Crossfire. It's up to Crossfire with the ball out. Oh, kills one, but
You
did
get
not
a
get
pick
it.
on Shelly Bean, but it's not going to be enough.
It's a good timing.
Double pick on both pharmacy combo. Diva Bomb coming in. Just clean up. And I do believe we're going to see World 2 pick up the second map.
Yep, it is looking that way. It's up to
Crossfire
Crossfire
can
again.
find the stall with all he's got.
Oh,
Nice
hit.
Reinhardt coming in and knocking Reinhardt away for that half second.
It's just that jump sweat damage of Waffles up close.
Victory.
It's just too much to heal for him. It's going to be really shit for Morgan.
So Royalty does pick up the win on Junkertown, and Waffles once again
Yeah.
taking the play of the game. This is that 5-man kill, I believe.
Oh yes,
Early
I
on.
believe you are right.
3, 4, and we didn't see the fifth one, but he did get
Yeah,
a
we didn't see the
kill
fifth,
out
but
of
he
that.
does get them though. I like because all the cards because go to wall T because with some impressive flair, but that is not to discount Mulligan because they're big. That was that. Because they also did very well because especially Crossfire on the DPS.
Yeah. Crossfire never disappoints, he always delivers. It's just the momentum was just heavily in Royalty's favor during both maps. A little more this map than it was last time. But still, from Royalty's side, from Morrigan's side, we switched the teams opposite side, but we just have to switch the names around for them as well.
Oh yes, because
Crossfire,
I'm just
and of
changing
course,
stuff,
I would have to give. I'm gonna be a little. I'm gonna give the most valuable player to two people, two on each side. Crossfire obviously still gets it from Morrigan's side just because of how phenomenal he plays, and I'm gonna give it to one of the supports, Sid, from Morrigan.
I disagreed actually, because they themselves did some good Wesses on the Mercy.
Yeah, and of course Shelly Bean and Waffles take the opposition from Royalty, just because Waffle getting that play of the game just delivered with that 5-man kill that gave them the first cap on that point and just kept the momentum going. Shelly Bean, whether she has been Mercy or Moira or any support so far, has not disappointed, has been backing up not just their DPS but also their tanks, keeping them in the fight through thick and thin. The worst case scenario, she's been right there to keep them alive through it or resurrect them back into it. And she hasn't fallen victim to a lot of instances where she would have been taken out, but she just has maneuvered herself very well.
Oh yes, because agreed, because it's a sign of a great mercy fire, because if they can get off the big reses and get out.
So right now we are going to be heading into the third map of Volskaya Industries, which is actually Zarya's hometown, kind of.
Indeed it is.
This is from the animated short where we're introduced to Sombra, actually. This map is literally right where that animated short takes place. And we also see, for any people who have paid close interaction to the interaction between characters in the map, Zarya has the interesting one with Torbjorn on this map. Torbjorn had a factor in how they manufactured things for taking out the Omnics during the Omnic War. Because she says to him, Zarya says to Torbjorn, the fate of the future of Russia depends on Torbjorn's shoulders, or something along those lines. I don't remember the exact words she used. And then Torbjorn replies to her saying, "Believe me, you don't need to remind me how much weight depends on me," or something like that.
Alright, okay,
So
because I'm just making the swaps both sides. Oh, that reminds me, I need to change back to EU. Because I do not want to forget that. I had some issues with that earlier.
So while this time we're going to have Morrigan on the attack first for Volskaya, and Royalty will be on the defense. So, like we experienced Friday night, when we had the clean sweep take place between Hydra and Crimson Dragons.
Oh, okay.
We may see that again here tonight with Morrigan. So far, Royalty has been unstoppable on the first two maps. Morrigan has put up a valiant effort so far. They have not given up. They have made Royalty fight for each and every checkpoint. They've burned up most of the time on both sides of the map, so they've been giving it their all. Both teams have. So we'll see if Morrigan can just ignite a flame under them and just go after Royalty with all they've got, because this is match point. If Morrigan doesn't win this match here, this could end here, or it could continue on to Blizzard World and Lijiang Tower.
Oh yes, because we did see it on Friday, because with Crimson Dragons, because their reverse sleep, because did start on Volsaya, so we could see the same again.
I have not seen one team do what me and my friends call the Flaming Bone strategy on this map so far. I have not seen it happen. I know we used it when we played in the regular season on this map, but no one has done it so far in the playoffs that we've casted to this point. There's still a lot more games to go, so I'm hoping to see at least one team decide to run something like that in any of these maps, because it could be a very effective strategy if played out correctly.
Oh yes, that's interesting, because I've not heard of that. Idea before.
We came up with the name Flame when you think of Flaming Bone, some people may think of Hammond being involved in something
Yeah.
like this, but Hammond has no part in it. When we've run it in the past, we've had a Reinhardt or Sigma duo shielding with Orisa. We've had a Bastion, Mercy as our primary healer, and as our secondary healer, we either have Baptiste or Zenyatta. And for our other DPS, we run a Symmetra most of the time.
Oh,
we
it's
go
that
behind-
tactic. Yeah.
And we
Okay.
go behind the point in the far left-hand corner. We set up a teleporter from one side to the other and forcing the enemy team to come after us on the ramp on the left.
Yeah.
And when they come after us, if they run dive on us, we quickly transfer to the other half of the map. And we just keep rotating, keeping that Bastion alive through double shields, and just keep the enemy team from getting on the point. And if they jump right on the point, we drop down one of our tanks along with the Symmetra and keep Bastion covered up top with Mercy's heals, keeping him just unloading full damage down on the enemy.
Oh yes, because I did see that comp last night actually, but but it was not given the chance to work because the other team teleported behind them and came up behind them because up the staircase and caught them. I managed to catch them offside with their own Bastion. It was very interesting. It was very interesting like fight of events because both teams are ready though, so we are ready to go in this potential match point on Volsire.
So far, we have seen a few Symmetras being played on this map where they've teleported on the far left side out of spawn when they're on the attack to go all the way around the map and just try to go for a left side flank. It hasn't worked so far because the other team has anticipated that and they've quickly transferred to the corner to get either environmental kills from booping them off the map or just overall just had enough brute force to just stop them in their tracks.
Oh yes, but this is a very different because type of map. Oh, okay, because we see an early Bastion. Oh right, because we might be seeing the spot that you talked about. There's no mercy, but
Yeah, we might see a strategy similar to the Flaming Bone on this map.
it's very interesting comps up both sides. Because we are seeing a Symmetra on the side of... because on the side of Morrigan also.
I'm not sure if they... Yep, it looks like they are going to go where we have... Yep, they are going to go right in the spot where me and my friends have done this before. They're going to do exactly that.
Oh yeah,
It's
because
very nice to see. Yep, and they're doing exactly what I talked about. Exactly the way I explained it.
yeah, the casters
Right from one side
like
to the other.
yeah, I don't know if you call that caster's curse or what, but because they were not expecting this.
Yep, Chimps pretty early picked on that Lucio, and I think Morrigan was not ready for that, and just
Oh no,
very
definitely
nice
not.
transition back and forth between teleporters.
Oh yes, that's very difficult to deal with. Because the Hansel tries to stop it.
And Morrigan is not going to be able to go just straight onto the point. They are going to have to go up top and go after them.
It's oh yes, because it is a brilliant like tactic. Because like if you can pull it off, it's very hard to stop.
Yeah, they are doing this a little more efficiently than me and my friends have done. Having the Bastion swap back and forth so quickly while Reinhardt is protecting the teleporter is just...
Fantastic Bastion player because he's teleporting out just the right time.
Yeah, he's sitting right on the teleporter, not on the teleporter.
It is both the teleporter now though.
I do think Morrigan is a little frustrated here. I think they're trying to think of, okay, what's the best way to get around this? And it's not easy. It's hard.
Oh no, it's not, because this isn't something you see like every day.
No, you don't see this happen very often. So when this happens, you're like, what? Now what do I do? Right now, it's exactly what I was saying when I try to make a move on a point. One of our tanks drops down onto the point, and they hold on, keeping one tank up there to shield Bastion, so he's not taking any fire. And they do go after that Bastion, and they take out Chimp, and now they've lost their primary damage in this fight. So
It's a nice
Morrigan-
sweep of Shelly on the hog, but it's not enough. That fight is over.
Yep, so Morrigan does manage to pull this off. I think what happened though with Rural T
You're fully healed.
was they didn't stay up top as much as they should have. They shouldn't have jumped down onto the point until Morrigan went full force in trying to capture the point. I think they jumped down a little bit too soon, and I think that's where it gave Bastion, or gave them the opportunity to take out Bastion, giving them that early lead.
Oh yes, because I completely agree. Because I'd like to give it to Crossfire because there's some great sim play to get the kills there. A very nice TP behind here at Morrigan. But now they are sort of clapped.
It looks like we are going to see these teleporters in play from both sides used throughout the entire map. I'm guessing just because of how both sides are using it to get across the map and look for those flank kills that they need to capture this.
It's a very weird situation at the moment for Morrigan. They're just sort of sitting here.
Yeah, they're kind of all over the place here, but they're not really out together that much.
Oh, big shot.
Nice sleep dart from from Morrigan.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, because that is super and that one's off Morrigan.
Should have that kill on Symmetrical, but he gets taken out by Ban.
Yeah, he overcommitted a bit there. Oh, nice window though. Nice window, Morrigan.
Both Symmetra walls coming into play
Yeah,
now.
it's a fantastic immortality build that off tank on. Here comes Waffle again because getting killed when his team needs him most. It's Symmetra versus Baby Diva outside the map and the Symmetra wins.
Nice on Royalty for holding strong, keeping Morrigan at bay, capturing this objective.
Oh yes, because now we are getting the Bastion of Morrigan. Because let's see what their plan
See
is.
Crossfire doing his thing with Bastion this time, so we'll see how this works.
Yeah, he has no Symmetra to teleport him, so he will be a bit of a sitting duck.
Yeah, so the tanks, Reinhardt's really going to have to stick with the Bastion and shield him.
Oh, it's a nice kill by Juice in the backline though, and Dankon.
Nice really pick on them, so they're going to have to slightly push forward with that and just keep the momentum going. Reinhardt's doing a good job of shielding that Bastion, giving him a line of sight.
Yeah, it's looking really good for Morrigan on the second point.
And so far it looks like I think Morrigan may actually take this. Nice nano boost on the Reinhardt.
Oh yes, but that teleporter is really big for a wall T. Because it means they can get back to the point or whatnot.
Nice double Earth Shatter on both tanks.
He really turned that round. Fantastic Reinhardt play because of I think it's called Little Asian. Great play.
That might have been play of the game for
Oh yes, definitely. Because he's been standing out on Reinhardt all night though.
yeah, that might have been the play of the game for him tonight. Getting those 2 kills from the Earth Shatter and then the rest afterwards to clean up. That should have been the end of the round in Morrigan's favor, but they, like I said, in the blink of an eye, Royalty turned it around and they were able to stall.
Oh yes, because like I mentioned, because that is all thanks to the TP of Waffles onto the high ground. It just gives them opportunity to get better walk faster. Because Dan Comp is now on the Zen. He is now back in form.
This is most likely going to be their last team fight.
Yeah, it's a really nice ice wall though. Oh,
Nice kill from Crossfire on Waffles.
yeah, because Crossfire was the triple kill out of the tanks. Because they do finish with time, which is very important.
Yeah, 7.7 seconds left for Morrigan.
0-2. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Alright then, so now it is Walt's turn to attack.
Yep, so we saw the...
Oh no, so... Oh no, it is. Wait, okay, because I did get it right the first time. Doubted myself though.
So we did see the Flaming Bone strategy used very efficiently in the first minute and a half
Ready for battle.
of this defense from since we switched sides, I'm having a little difficulty remembering
Yes,
on what side.
I'm in the same issue because it was Walty, I think, who
Attackers
used it.
incoming.
Because it...
30 seconds.
Alright, because it looks like Morrigan are going to return the favour. And do it themselves.
It looks like they are. Yep, they are going up top, and they are going to do Flaming Bone strategy.
Now,
They changed it up. They don't have the Reinhardt this time. Instead, they switched to a more projectile and Sigma.
Oh yeah, because I do like that a bit more because it gives you more range damage, and so when they go on point, because you don't have to drop down square way, you can get some kills from the high ground.
Okay, so Morrigan decided to move the teleporter behind the map a little bit further than where World T had it when they were on the defense.
I'm really liking the
They had
Fowler
it more
pick
out
up.
in the open.
Really liking the Fowler pick up chips. Because the Doombat Fowler, because could cause a lot. Oh, that's maybe a big boop.
Nice boot from Farah. That's going to be crucial for them right now. This is World T's chance to just seize the opportunity. They really got to capitalize on this.
Yes, but Crossfire and Band bringing it back.
Nice job from Crossfire just keeping them in this fight, but that's one of the instances where the strategy that me and my friends use isn't very effective, where if Farah can get a boop like that when we're there up in the corner like that, that could be game over in a heartbeat. So it's kind of a risk and reward kind of
Oh
a
yes,
strategy
because
you're
that
running up there.
teleporter is maybe a little bit too far back. Because to go in that teleporter, because you do run the list. It is more protected, but to do a team with the Fowler, that can't happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
it's not
important.
saying that when you're facing a Farah and a Mercy up there, it's not saying it's impossible to get rid of it before she can launch that off, but it's a lot more difficult.
Oh yeah, because it was just fantastic for chimps in the Fowler.
Yeah, but it's been a good job of World T adjusting back down underground rather than staying above the building, knowing that she's looking for those boots to knock them off the map. So they're doing a good job so far. We do see World T.
Here comes the title Waffles though.
They do get rid of Crossfire, so now they don't have their primary DPS. Nice Earth Shatter.
Oh yeah, because another big shatter, because to his collection to the red. Mercy's on point by himself. It's Waffles again though, just picking up kills. Because Symmetry is the only one left.
Healing done from Shelly Bean once again with that Valkyrie. Knowing when to use Valkyrie, especially in early team fights, you don't really want to use that Valkyrie ult to initiate a team fight. What you typically want to do is pop that after your team gets a opening kill, because that instantly puts you at the advantage of 5v6.
Oh yes, I did it.
And then having that extra boost to all 5 of your teammates just gives you all the more advantage.
it's looking good for Wall T.
Rains from above.
Because Balaji's new.
Nice job on chimps.
Alright, because with the jungler and Fowler, because this is going to be really hard to contest, especially if he tigers.
Shot from Waffles.
He's doing it again, Waffles.
Reinhardt is anti-mated. That's going to be a problem. He does get taken out.
Yeah, Nathan's to do.
But Morgan's still holding on.
Oh, big diva.
Oh, nice double kill from Luke. That
Oh
should
yes,
be
because
it to
Luke has not
cap.
been mentioned. Luke has not been mentioned by us a lot tonight.
Yeah, those diva bombs from him.
Oh yes,
I
they've
know
been
we haven't
huge.
said much
all
about
night.
his diva bombs, but they've been crucial in different points on the map where it gave them just the opening, and that was one that just ended the round for them. He got the kill on that Doomfist, and I don't believe I saw who the second person was that it took out, but that was enough to help them close out this round and force it into a third map with Morrigan.
Ready.
Morrigan going on the attack again.
Oh yes, because this time differential, because it's going to be pretty hard for Morrigan to turn around, but it is possible.
Yeah, from Royalty's side, it doesn't look like we're going to see the Flaming Bone this time, because with only a minute left, they're going to be swarming right into the point, which actually it may have been better to run the Flaming Bone here, because knowing they don't have time to go up top.
Oh yes,
to,
but it
attack
looks
them.
like. Oh yes, but it looks like Mulligan are expecting that though, because they're running the Somber Valor.
Yeah, they did go, Crossfire did go somber, so they may have been expecting the Bastion to come into play, so it may catch them off guard when they find out they haven't done that.
Oh yes, because Crossfire is sick. Oh yes, Crossfire is going straight up top. He's fully expecting Bastion to do that, I think.
Yeah, he was waiting for it. He does hack the Diva,
Yeah, but he has to TP
but they
out.
were ready for it.
Yeah, here comes Waffles. Here comes Waffles again on the jump shot. He had no fear.
Both Reinhardt's going toe to toe here.
He just
Waffle
followed
does
up.
get taken out by Sombra though.
He maybe should have feared. They're very good attack by Mulligan actually. Because Fire make on the line out makes some throws. He picks up a nice
Very
triple
nice
there.
cleanup from Morrigan's side. They are going to be able to take this first map in less than a minute.
Oh yes, because they are going to have a Shatter going into the next fight and the Dragon coming up. Because compared to Wall T, because we'll have no ultimate.
And Royalty doesn't really have any close ultimates other than Valkyrie from Shelly Bean, but her having that Valkyrie could be crucial to winning that fight for them.
Oh yes, because Sombra's looking to hack the line hard to tear down that shield.
Yes, that gives Firemaker perked up his Earth Shatter.
Here comes the Dragon. That's a really nice Dragon. Wonderful
Nice
Shatter by
perfect Earth
Firemaker.
Shatter.
Oh, it's back and forth though. It's another big res by
He
Shadow.
does get the perfect res on Ana, keeping them in the fight.
Here comes
You
Bob.
see
He gets hacked
Bob
though.
coming in, but does get hacked out.
He also got EMP'd. Yeah, because Whole Hug is also on
Back
by
and
Juice.
forth kills from both sides. It
Oh,
does look like, yep, Royalty does hold on and keep Morgan from capping this.
oh yes, because I do have to give it. Because I do have to give it to Wall T. Because I really feared for them because after the Shatter and Dragon. But they pulled it back.
Yeah, so right now this could be a match point for Royalty. They are now on the attack with 4 minutes and 24 seconds. So if they cap the first point and the first tick of the second, the win will go to Royalty Pawns.
Oh yes.
However, it could possibly end in a draw as well, or even a victory to Morrigan as well. If Morrigan manages to hold Royalty back to the first point, they will win this.
Oh yes, because it is. Oh yes, because it is very possible to get a full hold on Volsight and any 2 CP map. But Loyalty do have the advantage of time though, so they can just build up 6 ults and win.
Yeah, they do have the opportunity to build all that up, but also Morrigan can. Shoot, they are capable of doing the same as well.
5,
Oh yes, that is very true. Chimps is going to come out on the game.
1. Attackers incoming.
Interesting.
You see Reinhardt and Diva as the main tanks, and Royalty again. Chimps running Genji. We don't have an Ana to nano boost him through that though, so we only have.
Oh, he's in Waffles. Just went over the top. He's fighting. It's now Waffles versus the Gunback. Oh, Shelly Bean. Nice kill.
Shot from Shelly from Juice.
Yeah, big kill by Super though on the line.
Shot from Ban, taking out Lucio.
Oh yeah, because Ban. Oh yeah, because Ban can now just do clean up.
Nice first team fight in Morrigan's favor. If they can keep that up for about 3 to 4 more times, they'll win this.
Oh yeah, so fantastic hold. Because we are seeing changes done on the side of Wall T, because Waffles is now going to devour. Because which is a great pick actually.
Shelly being already more than halfway to her Coalescence ult, she's building that up fast.
Oh yeah, because you don't normally notice a support player, but Shelly Bean has been standout all night.
Yeah, she's stood out through most of it. Earth Shatter coming in, nice Earth Shatter from Reinhardt. And May ult as well.
It's a nice ice wall to stop Shelly Bean.
Get into position.
Oh right, because the blade is about to come online for Gems. Oh, this dude wants to be big.
Does get juice with it. Moira ult coming in, looking for Chimps. She's looking for it.
Chimps is barely alive with his 12 HP. He's now healed by his antidote. Wonderful,
nice
wonderful.
Sleep Guard on Ban.
Here comes the doom.
You see, first time a nano boosted Moira. You don't see that very often.
Oh yes, because that shows them what the faith they have in Shelly Bean, I guess.
Any person that's nano boosted, even when I occasionally get the accidental nano boosted Mercy, happened to me in quick player competitive. If I whip out that pistol, that thing's deadly. I know people usually don't like Battle Mercy, but it's pretty lethal.
Oh no, because I'm always a fan of the Battle Mercy. No way, because Chimps is looking for his blade, but Crossfire is fighting him in the backline. Because whoever wins that fight is going to be big, and Crossfire takes the fight. No way, because now back to point, because where the world battle is happening.
I failed to notice, Morrigan did actually get the first hit. They made it to 37.5%, so actually, Loyalty has to get it past that percent in order to win. If not, they lose. Nice Earth Shatter, though.
Yeah, here's Shelly Bean there.
Double kill.
Kills. And that. Oh, maybe not. No, no, that's it. Sorry.
Yes, that's going to be it. That's going to be the wrap up, and Loyalty is going to take the match.
Oh yeah, because that is a 3-0 win for Loyalty Pawns today over Morrigan. And Shelly gets played again.
Shelly Bean getting to play. Well deserved.
Surrender to my will.
Oh yeah, because I don't think I've ever casted a game and talked about the support players just tonight.
Support players never usually get as much love and support that they deserve. Being a support main myself, not many people show them the appreciation they put into keeping the teams alive. So
oh yeah, believe
I like to point them out. I like to point them out more so in recent times, just because I haven't done so in the past as much. But they do deserve a lot of credit. They are I want to say kind of like the silent hero of the match.
Definitely.
They are not on the battlefield, but they're in the back lines supporting the team, keeping them alive through the fight. They're not on the front lines, but they're there to keep you in it. So,
Oh yes, because I
but this is
definitely
going to
believe.
be. But this is actually the end. Actually, Royalty won all 3 maps. Morrigan put up a valiant effort. Crossfire and Super MG banned and everybody involved. Firemaker on Reinhardt. They gave it all they had. They put it all on the line,
Yep.
and they put up a good fight. So this does not eliminate Morrigan from the playoffs. Do not think they are eliminated. They just moved to the loser bracket, so they still
Yeah.
have a chance to come back from this
Oh yes,
and make it to the
it's-
playoffs.
It's
or
them
make it to the
facing
finals.
Hydra next week, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
I believe you are correct, but we will know by next week what happens. But Royalty Pawns will advance in Tier 2, so they will go
Yep.
on to
Fantastic
face.
player.
They will go on to face Gangrene Gang
Oh yes.
in the
Gangrene
quarterfinals.
Gang.
And before that, though, before that second match takes place, we will see Odin's Chosen versus Crimson Dragons as the first matchup in week 2 of Tier 2.
Mhm.
So this concludes the matches for the Tier 2 division, but we still have Tier 1 and 3 and the rest to go through for the rest of the playoffs as well. So for next week, we will have all 3 divisions that will be there for. So we'll see everybody there for those games next weekend.
Oh yes, because indeed we will. Because I'm looking forward to next weekend. Because the games this weekend, because they've all been amazing. Because from the ones that I've had the pleasure to cast and also watch in my spare time. And so I'm looking
with
for more of
that-
the same next week.
Yep. And with that, I'm Chaos.
Yep. Oh yes, because I completely agree. Because that's going to be us casting off, and so good night to everyone.